Welcome to this presentation, Holy Ones. Much love and much respect to all my brothers and sisters of Christic light. Machiwa. Thank you for joining this community. Standing in, to stand in and share this space together. Much love, much respect to your spiritual awakening and ascension process. I'm your brother Anunnaki. I welcome you. Today we're doing this a little bit differently. I'll be starting with talking about extraterrestrial races and their role in human history, because I talk about how this is happening through ancient history, even beyond what we've been taught is history. Now it's a forbidden history. And so there's still groups of beings out there who remember, who literally have records, even while there are nefarious intruder extraterrestrial races throughout history that have tried to cover up ancient aliens. Now, the concept ancient aliens means that they're not just, modern day phenomena. They've actually appeared in two cultures in ancient times. Throughout history, you guys, these beings have always been around, active. We live in a universe of activity. It's normal to travel to other planets, to travel to other universes, to travel to other, timelines. And so, time travel, jumping through stargates, using the time portal system to get around. And so the reality is pretty amazing, realizing that there's so much that we, like most humans, aren't even aware of that are available to us. And so, which is interesting because this is all based on consciousness. The universe is made of consciousness. So even from a spiritual science point of view, everything is made of particles, or what the Guardians call ultra micro particles, smaller than the quark, smaller than what mainstream science has found. And it is these ultra micro particles of vibration oscillation that are made of consciousness. So these little tiny particles make up everything else in existence. So it creates a field of consciousness. It creates an interlinking connection, intrinsic connection with everything, because it's all, even the air particles are made of these ultra micro particles. And so the air connects to me, you, and everything. And so even the things that we create materials out of, like cement or plastic or chemicals, they're all made of these conscious particles. And it gets more complex because we have our particle universe and our antiparticle universe, or you can call it the parallel. And tonight's topic is about ETs. Well, they're all coming from these different locations around in existence. And so it's important to understand, and I will go over it a little bit, the context that we exist within, the multidimensional context that all these extraterrestrial races are coming from. They're not just coming from, some close by star system, okay, like Alpha Centauri. It's there's much more to God's creation, and it's important for us to understand that, because it also affects our awakening, our identities, because a lot of these personal multidimensional identities are in the higher universes, because these systems talk about multiverse. That means more than one universe. So it's important to understand that, because you're not just understanding yourself and your family of consciousness, but you're also understanding all these other races of beings that we are interacting with. And so, and also realize every being has free will. Every single being. All these extraterrestrial races, they all have free will to choose the path of chaos or the path of order. Because I say this because a lot of people in religion seem to think that, and not just religious people, some just people in who are inquiring about these topics, they think that some things don't have souls. Okay, so there's some confusion about what is a soul. So from the guardian perspective, from the spiritual science perspective, a soul is consciousness, just like everything else is consciousness. No exception. Everything is the mind of God, the mind of Source. Everything exists within what is called God. So the consciousness called the soul is simply a level that we will exist within and go beyond. Just like this is a level, the 3D level. Well, out of the 15 dimensions, it's one reality level that we will eventually evolve out of and into higher reality fields, such as the soul level. We're not at the soul level. It's not about having a soul. Okay? It's not something you possess or that is inside your body. Consciousness is inside your body. The soul is an astral, archetype, or celestial level of consciousness. And it'll make more sense when I show you the diagram. But this is a live broadcast, so let me say hello to everybody. And this is what I'm going to show you tonight is basically the lecture that I did about extraterrestrial races in Sedona. So I have the slideshow, and I'll share the slideshow as we continue throughout tonight's live. And so if you guys have questions, please write. You can tag the channel name, tag Christos Avatar TV somewhere in your message, so we can easily see your question. Otherwise, if I don't see it, don't worry, because one of my moderators will inform me outside of YouTube. They'll write me on Instagram or Discord, so I will know that there's a question. And also, guys, I really would be grateful for any donations for tonight's live, because some of you may not know, but I recently crashed my truck. I lost my truck. It wasn't drivable, so it's basically a huge dilemma for me. So anything you guys can help with donations, it would truly help. So let me light my incense and say hello to everybody in the live, in the chat room, and welcome. Thank you guys for being here. Of course, my beloved fiance is the first one in here. Giannis, Julia, thank you, beloved, for sharing all those links. And you guys, I just want you to know, as you can see, we are. What's this one? It says Oceanity. We are actively sharing these teachings, which is a huge body of spiritual tome of knowledge, and it's not just these books. But it also includes a lot of lectures that have been spoken throughout the years. But this is part of my lecture, so let me start the incense at least. And so I have that going. Let me grab my charcoal. It's right there. My chihuahua. And there was a wonderful conference. I mean, it was small, but it was a great conference. And I got to spend that time with Julia. We had a very, beautiful Airbnb. I mean, the yard was beautiful. The trees are so gorgeous. Oh my gosh, it's like a fairy tale. A fairy tale desert. Red rocks, just so unique and breathtaking. And it was perfect weather. I mean, well, it did sprinkle, but they didn't bother us because it was the weather, the temperature was great in Sedona right now. You would think it would have been hot. Of course, we didn't go hiking, so we didn't stay the whole time in the sun, but it was great. And we went to a couple of restaurants with other people. Some of the food that we had was wonderful. We're just grateful, and we're grateful to meet a lot of people. We have new friends, and I hope to interview some of those. Maybe some of you are familiar with Arcturus Raw. We met him, and I want to have him on the show, and he said something about and having me on his show too. We met Mike Barra from Ancient Aliens, and we met, there's a few people who are regulars we've already know. Julia came in. She was one of our sisters that I've interviewed. She's very brilliant in her field. She's very knowledgeable. And Brett Luter, he's a great guy. I love working with him. So there's always incentive to go to these conferences because you're going to meet like-minded people who are also having these paranormal experiences, right? Most people are, even just the people who came, the guests, it was nice to meet some of those and have, share stories and experiences. So for some of you who may be new to my channel, I make a lot of videos about aliens. So a lot of those, not all of them, but some of, many of those are from these teachings. Especially when I put on-screen text and I give you resources of more information about these alien races, you can guarantee it's coming from the Voyagers books. Now, of course, there's some aliens that I just create videos of that are very interesting to me. Insectoid races, feline races, reptilian type races, all kinds of specific species. And so it's just, to me, it's very beautiful, and I love doing it and being creative. Especially when you're indigo, you feel this spark or this drive to express and to share, and so and it's been a great positive feedback. A lot of people love these videos, and some people may be annoyed by them, but this is part of my platform, and so. Like today I released 2 videos. This live is my 3rd video. So I'm a busy bee. And I keep very busy. I have this drive to bring out these teachings, which are the Emerald Order teachings. And so before I start though, let me say hello to my familia. Now, thank you guys for sharing space with us today. Thank you, Giannis. Thank you, Julia. Indigo Gal, my Chihuahua sister. So happy to see you with us, one of our other moderators. Much respect to you, Indigo Gal 144. Giannis. Oh, okay. Never mind. Sorry. Stim Jenkins 5817. Hello to you, Holy One. Rise above 1900. Something they're saying something Machiwa in English. Oh, Machiwa to you, Holy One. Sandra Payment in the house. What's up, Sandra? Woohoo! Legend Light 333 in the house. Machiwa. Oh, it's okay. So, a dream frequently including having lucid dreams. I am often attacked by fallen angels. I recall once striking a reptilian creature whose face was smeared with blood. Maybe he just got through eating something. There's also black dragons in the air that toss me back and forth between them. I am terrified. While I'm terrified, the attacks are so frequent that I have come to dread sleeping as I wake up exhausted from these. Oh, so the Maharic seal is not working for you. This has to do with a lot of, there could be a lot of like reasons for this. And so I would say that it has to do with your life and the people around you, and probably the location of where you're at, and maybe it's a combination of your diet and the things you put in your body, the things that you speak, the things that you think. This would be, I would just tell you what I would do in that circumstance. I would be very mindful, regularly mindful of my life, that my life is a positive frequency. My relationships, my conversations are positive frequencies. And to put this continuously do your Maharic seal, make sure you're doing it correctly. Watch Ashiana Dean and Michael Dean do it in the Kathara Biospiritual Healing Workshop. We can give you that link if you haven't watched it yet. And so, and also putting it out there that they're not allowed, that you are God sovereign free. I would start doing Shaddai Ure Akum Tan. Shaddai Ure Akum Tan. Shaddai Ure Akum Tan. Like I said, you have to be very mindful who's in your house, because the energies you're experiencing can be someone else in the house bringing these frequencies. It could be your partner. It could be your children. It could be dark, twisted music playing in the house. It could be a combination of all these things. It's all frequency based. These beings are attracted to you for a reason. It could be you could have a hybrid DNA template. It means that you are part Anunnaki or part reptilian, which I'll be talking about. And so you could go to Lisa Renee's website. She has a couple of things that she does with this sovereignty. That actually comes from her, God Sovereign Free. She has these things that you can speak. You speak and release, cut cords with anything that you have connected to yourself to in this life or another life. If you're practicing the occult, I would say stop. If you're involved in magic or witchcraft, I would say stop. These are things that they all matter. All these things I mentioned matter. The diet, you don't want to be eating crap diet. You don't want to be eating sugar. You don't want to be eating acidic food like meat. You stop eating that stuff and eat light. This is not going to make the problem go away, but it's one of the things that you can do that will add up to your protection. Not to mention always connecting to your higher consciousness. I always connect to Holy Elohai. I'm always, every single day, making sure that I am doing my Maharic seal and doing my prayers for protection. So it's a whole shift. It's a shift that you would be working on while you're awake. So it's a process, and I would think you would get results by doing some of these things even. So, Machiwa, Holy One. Daily chanting? It depends on what you're chanting. There's a lot of distorted New Age teachings that we have to be very mindful of. the most important thing is to understand that you are God sovereign free. All beings are God sovereign free. Other beings will try to trick you and think or give you narratives that you're separate from God. Religion tells you you're separate from God. So you have to be very mindful of what you're chanting. Know what you're chanting. Understand what you're chanting. So I would just say that. Otherwise, because chanting doesn't make the boogeyman go away, but it does help your frequency. Because that's what it's about. It's about raising your frequency that would assist you. I mean, raising your frequency so you're not attracting these low vibe, demonic, fallen angelic consciousness. But if you tried everything in a book and they're still attacking you, this has to do with your hybrid connection. And so it has to do with going to God's sovereign freedom within what you say. And believe it or not, even if you're not religious, there's some people who swear by just saying the word Jesus or Christ, or I would say Christos. Speak certain words that they will not, it has an effect on these beings, apparently. I personally am not thinking about saying Jesus or that. I don't have those issues. But if it comes down to that bad, you would want to start saying those to push them out. Try it. This is one of the things you can try. Because there was a person named Jesus. There was a Jesus, but not a mutilate. There's a couple of Jesus, and one of them was the one that you see in the Bible. We're not talking about that one. That one's pushing hell and sin and sacrifice and God the Father. We know what kind of creature this being God the Father is, and then we're going to talk about this being actually in tonight's topic, extraterrestrial races. Let's get to tonight's topic. And let me preface this. No, let me start and then I'll continue on with whatever comes into my thoughts. Thank you for those hearts, whoever's sending me those energies. Yeah, my heart's healed. That's what I just was suggesting. There is some. Even my fiance has used that once, and it worked. She's a Christic person following these teachings, but she also said the word Jesus, or was it baby? Which one did you say? Was it Christ or Jesus, or one of these? These beings left, and I've heard other people that my friends who have done this too, and it worked. So maybe that's who I'm thinking of. One of my friends said that. But anyways, it's hard for me to give you the best advice because I haven't had that experience. I don't have these beings effing with me because every single day I'm doing this work, and my number one priority is protection, protection, protection. We all need protection, and keep on it, maintain it. Even if you're not having issues, it doesn't matter. That every single day, even on good days, it doesn't matter. Keep on doing protection, 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 and know that you're protected. Say, I am protected. I am protected. I choose light. I choose life. I choose love. And say that all the time. I am light. I am love. I am a child of God. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am light. I am blessed. I am protected. It's just a continuous affirmation, affirmation, affirmation. And it might help you to set an alarm every night, every hour, so you wake up and get out of those dreams. Maybe think about that. So. Extraterrestrial races and their role in human history. Machiwa, brothers and sisters. So let me, I just want you to know, for newcomers, my channel name is called Christos Avatar TV. Christos Avatar. And yes, I do really have over 1 million subscribers. When you consider it's on YouTube, let me see if that's coming up for. Oh, the mouse does come up. Okay. So, 1 million plus viewers when you count them on my Instagram and my YouTube, my TikTok, my Facebook, and my Twitter X. My channel, Christos Avatar TV, focuses on ancient civilizations, ET history, the innerchristos, law of one teachings, the ascension, and spiritual awakening. So this is my main focus in my life. This is my mission in life, and to bring it to you from the Emerald Order Freedom Teachings point of view. This isn't the New Age point of view. This isn't religion point of view. This is the Emerald Order Freedom point of view perspective. And it starts with these books. I don't know why it jumped into highlighted. Why does it do that? I moved my mouse and then it got brighter. So if I move my mouse, oh, it didn't do it this time. Okay. Anyways, these are the books. Now let me show you real quick. Those are the books that you saw on the screen, are these books. I'm always having these books right here so people know that I'm just not just making stuff up. See, these aren't my personal opinions, you guys. But I align with these teachings. I agree with these teachings. Now I'm sharing these teachings. And it's not just these books, as I showed you in this slide here. So these are called the Voyagers books. There's 3 books that were originally written, as you can see, by Ashana Dean. I'm wondering how to zoom in. I don't know how to zoom in. Let me make sure that you guys are seeing this right. Oh, it does zoom in, but I don't see it zoom in on my end. So, oh, it zoomed in finally. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right, so I'm kind of new to a PowerPoint, but anyways, it starts with these books, and I encourage you guys to actually read these books. As you saw, Giannis 1111, one of my moderators and my lovely girlfriend, she shared all the links to these books. They're not just books, they're also digital forms, so you can download them to your PDF, to your phone. Like Voyagers 2. Voyagers 2 is almost 600 pages long. This is a few hundred pages long. This is the smallest book, but these are all valuable tools to study. And I encourage you guys to start with these books, but it's not limited to these books. You will find that there's a whole bunch of video workshops. And I want to say that this information is not channeled. Now, let me go back here. Now, I'm not saying anything's wrong with channeling, but what the Guardians say that legitimate indigo adepts do not channel. Okay? And so we talk about telepathy within our own family of consciousness, not channeling some other being. Channeling is literally inviting another entity into your light body, which, according to the Guardians, the Christic Emerald Order Guardians, that is risky. It can make a problem in your DNA, which affects your ascension process. And they go on to say that some of this channeling is like trans mediumship channeling. That is actually literally dangerous. That is where an entity can actually take over your body. And a lot of these people in the New Age are literally doing the process of invocating spirits into their space. This is a big no-no, you guys. This is what is dangerous, risky and dangerous. So I'm just telling you, from the Emerald Order point of view, we don't channel. You can channel your own family of consciousness. We don't use the word channel. This is telepathy. This is within yourself. That is telepathy. And your higher selves, if we're in the 3D, the third chakra, the third Templar. Anything above that is higher than you. I mean, that's part of your family of consciousness. You have higher parts in the 4D. This is the fourth heart chakra, Templar. The fifth dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, sixth dimension. So those are higher consciousness, higher dimensions than you exist. That is what you connect to. Not the Archangel Michael family, which is an Elohim family. Anu Elohim, the fallen Elohim. Michael, Ariel, all of the L's. Samuel, Gabriel, Kal-El. You'll see it in Superman movie. You'll see it in Darth Vader. You know, what is it called? Or what's that one in Harry Potter? You know, all of these lords. Okay, so anyways, we're not channeling. We don't channel. We connect to our own family of consciousness, not other families of consciousness. So this information, these teachings, are not a channeled source. I am not a channeler. I do not channel angels or archangels or whatever. You said it, Maharshiel, Uriel, all those L's. E-L. It's not a coincidence. They're ending with E-L. L is Elohim, which is a fallen angelic Metatron collective. And so these channels are based on technology. Oh, I actually need my keyboard here. This is actually alien tech, guardian alien tech. They're physical, they're called the CDT plate records. They're ancient holographic disc records, you know, within the Emerald Order teachings. This is where they come from. It's not channeled. It's literally a database of information that goes all the way up to the density 5. So that's why there's that, which is, you know, this goes all the way up to actually the 12th dimension I meant. So that's density 4. So that's dimension 1 to 12 records are in these discs. So there's disc 1, disc 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 holographic discs. And in this slide, you can see on the left side, Thoth. The Thoth is an Inky Anunnaki. We're going to be talking about that's one of the races we're going to be talking about. They're going to be several feet taller than humans. Most of the ETs that are coming from the higher dimensions are going to be taller. Even the angelic humans are taller than the Earth humans. And so we're talking like up to 14 feet tall, according to what is talked about in the Voyagers and the Emerald Order teachings. So these are one of the 3 speakers in the Atlantean days. Speaker 1, Speaker 2, Speaker 3. Thoth, once upon a time, was working with the Emerald Order. Okay? Thoth was one of the priests of the Emerald Order, one of the 3 speakers. So I'm not going to go off into that tangent. I'm just letting you know, explaining this information. So Thoth was taught how to use the CDD plates. It's a hologram system. The data, it comes out. You run your kundalini through your body, through your arm, through your hand, into the disc, and then the disc will pop out. So you literally have a connection to the CDT plate that you're holding. And whatever disc you're holding, like I know this says 7 right here, but Thoth was actually working with CDD plates number 11. And so anyways, this is something that I made a video about. And so I don't know if you guys are you guys seeing it play out? Can you someone confirm that you can see the video playing? Good to see you, Kristen Loves. Good to have you here, sister. Woohoo! The YouTube feed is not stopped on our end. So can someone write a comment that you can still see and hear the live? Any comment would be greatly appreciated. Okay, you can see it playing. So, okay, just want to make sure that it's playing and all that. So, yeah, this was Atlantis in 2230-40 AD. The CDD plates were being used. So, I'll move on. Now, this is also connected to the 15-dimensional time matrix diagram. So, let me go back to the camera once and open that for you guys. Remember the context of creation I was telling you about? That's important to understand in order to understand where these ETs are coming from. Let me just confirm. Not playing? I don't know what Cash Sterling is saying. They're just mentioning some comments. Kirsten loves sending love. Hey, Kirsten is sending love. Thank you for those hearts, whoever's making those hearts. Keep an eye on this Cash Sterling guy. I don't know what he's talking about. So now let's go. Let me see. I'm opening this PDF, so I'll switch over to the PDF. Now, this is what we call the 15-dimensional time matrix. And this is how we are going to show and demonstrate where these alien beings exist. So according to these Emerald Order Freedom teachings, we live within what's called a 15-dimensional time matrix. Okay? It's also called the Universal Templar Complex. It's also called the hologram of matter. And this was literally created 950 billion years ago. Okay? And remember, this is not just one universe. This is 5 universes inside one another. So we have, and what a universe is, it's literally a level of density matter. So we're in the Earth system, right? In the 3D. We're literally in the 3rd dimension of Earth. So dimensions 1, 2, and 3 are all within the first universe which is carbon matter universe. That's the density. The density is carbon matter. Okay? So a lot of these extraterrestrials that we're being visited by are actually in the higher universe above us, in what's called a carbon etheric matter universe, dimensions 4, 5, and 6. Okay? So they're coming through stargates or portals to get here. And so there's literally, when you go into a different universe, let me go back real quick. These different universes are, each of them have different matter density. So you just saw me explain that universe 1 and the second universe, which the first one is carbon matter. The second one is carbon etheric matter. So the matter density is made of carbon, for example, and the consciousness. So same with the carbon etheric. The bodies would be different, physically, literally, okay? And like 50% less dense than we are. You can consider us physical, but those beings in the second universe are almost like ghost-like, but still a little bit of physicality. But by the time you get to the third universe, I'm gonna get to that, they're completely ghost-like, spirit-like. When you see them, they're like made of light, brilliant light. Okay, you're experiencing a being that's in a whole different another dimension and universe, and they can come to you, visit you in the dream state, in meditation, in any type of altered state. So even with plant medicine, these beings, see, you're a 3D. Something whether that's meditation or something else, increases your speed, your frequency, then you're now going to see beings that live or are existing within or operating within those higher frequencies. Just imagine just changing the radio. You're changing your frequency. You're changing your consciousness location. Your consciousness, your body stays. Your body is made of three-dimensional carbon matter, atoms and molecules and chemicals, right? But your consciousness is not. Your consciousness is in the fourth dimension. All humans, I would say, what you call earth seeds, 3D earth seeds, all their consciousness is in the fourth dimension. You're not the body. You're the consciousness that goes into the body. Okay? That's your identity. This is not your identity. It's part of what you are, but it's not your main identity. Your main identity is the consciousness that went into your pregnant mother, the fetus, that went into the fetus of your pregnant mother. So it's called, the Guardians call it fetal integration process. The body, the fetus, is not what is awake and aware. It is the consciousness that goes into the fetus, into the body, that is awake and aware, that is thinking. Okay? And so we are fourth dimensional consciousness in a third dimensional body. Our body is in this universe. Our consciousness is in the second universe. This is how consciousness works. Okay? So your consciousness is always one dimension higher than your body. So we're experiencing physicality here in the 3D, but our consciousness is actually 4D. So if you want to be physical in the fourth dimension, then your consciousness will be in the fifth dimension. A 5D spirit consciousness is in the 4D body. A 4D consciousness spirit is in a 3D body. A 3D consciousness spirit is in a 2D body. You see how that works? Jump right up to the 9th dimension. Well, a 10th dimensional consciousness spirit essence is in a 9th dimensional physical body. Physical. So, we are actually in the second universe right now. But we're inside the bodies here in the first universe, in the third dimension. So, Machiwa? It looks like Georgina! Our first donation tonight from Georgina. Bless you, Georgina, which is Indigo Gal, by the way. Thank you so much, Georgina. And look at those numbers. 333, powerful numbers. Yes. She wrote a message. Machiwa, happy to be here with my star family. Wrecked my electric scooter. Body hurting, but alive. Wow, dear. Maybe, wow, because, you heard my story. I just wrecked my truck. I no longer have a vehicle. It was also what you call, what's that insurance called? Where it's not covered, not full coverage, but the other one. I didn't have full coverage on my truck, so obviously it was my fault because I hit them from the behind, but that was because, well, I have no excuse. But let me tell you what happened is I was on the Phoenix Highway. There's no shoulders, man. I couldn't go off into a shoulder to get around the accident. I mean, around this person. No, it wasn't one. It was like a row of cars stopped in the freeway. That is totally irresponsible, man. I don't see that happening in Vegas. Vegas has these big ass shoulders that you could go into. You can park a car in the shoulder. There is no such thing in the Phoenix highways. I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying that there was nowhere to go. I stopped on the brakes and hit the person. So automatically in the state of Arizona, it's probably in most states, but in the state of Arizona, it's your fault. So liability insurance doesn't cover that. So I lost my vehicle. So I hear you, Georgina. I feel you. Fortunately, I wasn't hurt though at all. I was just. It helps to be in an old Ford pickup. That's a F Ford 350. It was a 92 Ford 50. That thing is made of steel, not this plastic crap you see nowadays. Maybe that's why I'm safe, or that's part of the reason why I was safe. The other person was not so fortunate. They had a plastic car, so. Thank you, Georgina. Bless you, sister. Calvin! Woohoo! Yes, brother! Thank you for your donation. Thank you for that exchange of energy, because I can't do this work without you guys. Much respect to you, Kelvin. He said thank you. Thank you, Holy One. Machiwa. And Charlene! I hope I said that right. Charlene, thank you, Holy One. Thank you so much for that donation. Blessings to you. Much respect, Holy One. Machiwa! Thank you for being here with us tonight. Also, Kirsten! Woohoo, Kirsten! Oh my gosh, thank you so much, sister. She left a message. Sending you lots of love, brother. Hope you have a marvelous, magnificent weekend. The twins and I'm pretty sure you meant to say I love the twins and I love you, fam. Thank you, sister. Thank you, Kirsten, and bless you and your twins. Can't wait to meet you someday. Yes. And oh my gosh, I just realized that someone did. I forgot who it was. I didn't forget you. Your message wasn't lost, but someone wants to go with us on the Sedona trip. I'm just saying that I just got back from my disaster. From the accident and losing money and being at the show. So I haven't had a chance to reply yet, but I'm so glad there's at least one person who's interested in joining us. Me and Celine, and hopefully Kirsten will be able to come. But me and Julia are definitely going to go on a trip with Celine. If anyone wants to join us, you're welcome to come. If it's not Sedona, because if there's no interest there, we'll still have a trip. I mean, we could go to Mount Shasta or somewhere else. Anyone else interested in that trip? Where's that link at? Where was that link at? Let me see. It might be in Discord. Let me get that link real quick. In personal chat, that must have been here. Instagram, that's not it. Sedona retreat, I got the link. So let me put the link, you guys, in chat. If any of you are interested, let us know, because it's in 2 months. Well, that's about a month and a half now. There you go, you guys. That's much blessings. Yeah, you said it. Maybe it's Shasta, right? So, you guys, this is a personal trip between a group of friends. So, we can change plans together. If you're interested in just being with us, we will make plans together. But right now, that's the starting point. Right there, that link I just gave you is the starting point. Thank you, guys. Yeah, Nixon Dragger Rider. I can't. The lanes on the freeway is so tiny. I've never seen a freeway with such tiny lanes. Again, I'm not excusing myself. I I should have been able to stop in time. And so, anyways. I haven't been in an accident since I was a teenager. I haven't gotten any traffic tickets. Well, not that I remember any traffic tickets. So, plus people in my age group, I'm 55. Most of those people are considered safe until they get to their 80s, or 70s. I don't know. But usually they're more responsible drivers in their older ages, right? So let's continue on to the presentation. Yeah. So yeah, the 15-dimensional time matrix, that's what I was showing you. And so let me go to that. So this is where we're finding where all these aliens are coming from, and just know that we're in this system. And these beings could be coming from these higher dimensions. Like, this is the second universe. These are some of the beings. These are some of the positive ones. We got the Syrians. We got the Orifeme. Some of the Nordics, Turnesium, Pleiadians, Emerald Orifeme. We got the blue humans, which are called the Maharaji. The Azarites. The ones in red are the ones who are fallen, and these are some of the races I'm covering tonight, like the Inky Anunnaki, Enlil, Marduk Anunnaki, Pleiadian Anunnaki. These aren't brothers. These aren't individuals, according to the Guardian teachings. These are collectives, they're families of consciousness. So I suspect that these beings came to Sumer or any of the Mesopotamian cities and started making representatives of their race. And the Inky would be a representative of the Inky Anunnaki. Enlil would be a representative of the Enlil Anunnaki, because according to the Guardians, these are literally non-human beings, races of beings that live on planet Nibiru. So anyways, this is the 15-dimensional time matrix, but some of these ETs could be coming from the parallel universe. Okay, which also has the same, everything on this side is on this side, but in a different frequency. But we are connected to these doppelgangers. You have a doppelganger in the parallel. So it's part of our awakening. Our ascension process has to do with our doppelganger. But anyways, that's another topic. There's also something called the phantom matrix, where some of these races are coming from. This is where reverse consciousness, fragmented consciousness, reverse consciousness goes into the phantom matrix. Once you die and you fell into that conscious level, you're going to go into this universe instead of the one that you've been incarnating into. This is where you get dark souls, dark incarnates, dark oversouls, dark avatars. And by the way, this is my 2026 diagram. If you look at the bottom right corner, if yours does not say 7/12/2026, then you have the older diagram. I encourage you guys to get this new diagram because it has some fixes and also more data. I had to fix some of the things, such as the Marduk races were kind of mixed up. I had to fix some of those things. I added some things. So the 2026 diagram is definitely better. So I encourage you guys to get that version. So some of these beings are coming from the phantom matrix, and they use these wormholes, and they're constantly creating wormholes. But these are some of the ones they created a long time ago, called the Phoenix wormhole in Atlantis, and the Falcon wormhole in Atlantis, created 10,500 BC. There's a whole account history that was happening during that time. You might even see that. But, we also got CERN and HARP. They're also being used by the secret space programs to open wormholes and portals to some of these freaking extraterrestrial beings that are twisted. But that's what some of these governments are aligned to. The secret governments, the secret militaries are working with these ETs in the secret space programs. So this is where we get tonight's conversation. Understand that there's different levels of beings, different consciousness that goes with those levels, different biologies, different physics, different realities. Okay, so now I can go back to the other slide. Let me go to that. I was explaining to you the 15-dimensional time matrix. So the ascension is where you're going and back to your original self. Going back, we all have this original self, which is Source God. But right now, we're only in the third dimension, working our way up through different lifetimes to get into these different dimensions and different realities, different bodies, different abilities, different identities. And it's a process, an ongoing process that we are going through. 15 dimensions, 5 universes. This is the context of tonight's topic. So it starts with this all starts with 3 original primary founder races. Okay? Now, let me show you in the diagram here where these are. Remember, this starts at the top. People have their logic backwards. They think we come from apes. We did not come from apes. We did not come from Earth. We did not come from the third dimension. We came from, we all start, not just our race and our people. We all start at the top. We're all coming from one of these, what they're called solar rishi. So just to understand, we're talking about the very top. And you will see that they're called Elohai, Seraphi, and Braharama. And you might recognize the negative versions. The negative version of Elohai is Elohim. The fallen version of Seraphi is Seraphim. And notice these are both being mentioned in the Bible as good and positive. No, they're not. Elohai is good and positive. Seraphi is good and positive. Elohim and Seraphim are the fallen versions. Now, we're mostly talking about these 2 factions or founders or bloodlines. The violet flame didn't fall. Let's look at those 13, 14, and 15 dimension down here. There's those those are the 4 primary founders, but we're not at the founder races yet. I'm just showing you that they did not fall. But notice on the gold flame, these 2 races fell, and the blue flame, this race fell. Okay, so we're not there yet. I was just showing you. Go back to the PowerPoint. What those beings are. Now, the Guardians literally call these beings spherical, like spherical suns. It's hot plasma. And these are not, notice they don't have faces, they don't have eyes or arms and legs. They're geomancies, geometries. Okay, they are circular. There is no such thing as a flat earth. This is the macrocosm of our microcosm of Earth. Planets are round. Don't let the flat earthers tell you otherwise. You'll see many things that are spherical, starting with these solar rishi. You have the Elohai that started it all, and then it followed by the Seraphi, guardian races. Now, these are called the primary founders races. Now, each of these primary founders, these suns, stars, you know, a star is a sun is a star. These suns, these stars are the primary founders. These are 3 different bloodlines, or master bloodlines, or founder bloodlines. And so the Elohai is going to create 2 races, the Anunnaki and the Anu. The Seraphi are going to create 4 races, the Ceres, bird people, the Athean mantis, the Omicron, and the Odedicron. The violet flame, which we're not really going to talk about because they're positive and they didn't fall, is the Pegasus. the Innu whale people, and the aquatic dolphin people, and the aquatic ape people. They have a lot of water frequency energy, a lot of aquatic beings. But these beings, between the three of them, these are mated terrestrials, and between the three of them, they created 10 founder races. Okay? Let me see if I can go to that slide. And let me just check in chat that everything's going okay. Everything's going okay? All right, so. And I don't know why this should be playing. So Elohai, they're spherical beings, and they're the ones that creators of the blue flame avatars. Elohai creates the blue flame avatars and the planet Armentana. Okay, so the next one is the Seraphai, mated terrestrial, 14th dimension. They're the creators of the races I just mentioned earlier. The bird people, mantis, and the Omicron and Dedicrons. So this is the other founder race. They haven't fallen. They didn't fall. Their races didn't fall. But they're the violet flame beings, avatars, who create the violet flame avatars. The Innu, the dolphins, the whales, people, the aquatic apes, and the Pegasi. Okay, these are the these are the mated terrestrials, also called solar rishi. That's why they're hot plasma. Okay, so these three are the main ones where all life is coming out of. They're the primary founders who create the founder ET races and planets. These are the beings who create the planets and the ETs. So there's three planets where each of them seeded their first races on. So the solar rishi created life. Each one created life on one of these planets. The Elohai, they created life on planet Armentana in the 12th dimension. 12D12 means dimension 12. This is the blue flame emerald order. Okay? I can't stand it when it does this. I don't know why it does this. I'm not getting, okay. I don't know why it I got to find that out later. Anyways, this is the next planet where they seeded life. And this is where you're going to get Anu seeded, the dolphins, the whale people, the Pegasi beings, and the aquatic ape beings with the Anu were started on this planet. And then planet Vega has all the reptilian type of beings, the insectoids and the bird people, and reptilians and dinoids are on Vega. So these three planets is where all life started. The 12th dimension is Armentana, the 11th dimension is Avion, and the 12th dimension is Vega. Gold order, gold flame. Amethyst order, violet flame. Armentana, emerald order, blue flame. And that's where these teachings are coming from. They're coming from the emerald order, which is considered the highest race. And so these are obviously where we're going to get the 10 founder races from. Now this is the level of actual density 4. This is the level of extraterrestrials. These are where the extraterrestrials start from. The Elohai created the first race in the 12D. These are the Anunnaki feline hominids. Look at those beautiful beings. Feline cat people, homies. What's up, Anunnaki? And it is the Anunnaki where we get the angelic human DNA template from. I'm not going to jump ahead of myself, but that will be coming up in this lecture. Now, I've shown you guys all kinds of different pictures of these Anunnaki feline cat people. And just so you know, well, let me go to the camera here. Here's another thing we have to realize. Even the mainstream scientists who haven't found the soul yet, but even the mainstream scientists know we have hundreds of billions or up to trillions of stars in our Milky Way galaxy. Billions to trillions. That's a lot of freaking stars. If you counted them, how long would it take you to count those stars? Right? And so, but they also say that there's billions or trillions of galaxies. All those galaxies have trillions of stars, and all those stars have a certain amount of planets and moons on them. Extraterrestrials can exist and can live on planets or moons. How many freaking extraterrestrial races are there really? When you start calculating those numbers, it's extraordinary. It's mind-boggling. You can easily say quadrillions of ET races, quintillions, sextillions. I don't know how to say that level. Okay? Possibilities of life. So I'm getting to this point is when I showed you the Anunnaki portrayal, some people say that's not what they look like. Who's they? Who are you talking about? There is literally billions of different feline extraterrestrial races. Do you think we're talking about the same race? Because if it's somebody in the New Age telling me I'm wrong, or this is not what they're called, that's not what they look like, they're not talking about the same race out of billions of other feline races, are they? Now, we can name some that are common. The Anunnaki are the original ones. Any cat race is coming, their DNA template is coming from the Anunnaki feline template. So, there is the lower density in density 3, that's the universe, not dimension 3. Density 3, which is dimensions 7, 8, and 9. That is where we get the Leonines. In density 2, that is where we get, which is dimensions 4, 5, and 6, that is where we get the Irma. Okay? So the Irma is not the same as the Leonines. The Leonines is not the same as the Anunnaki or the same as any other Thundercats. You know, I get the ridiculous comment sometimes in my videos. People, oh, that's the Thundercats. So, maybe you guys have seen the movie Avatar. Cat people, homie, is a real thing. And so I was showing you some examples of the cat people. So, one second here. And so this is where your brother Anunnaki, I saw myself as an Anunnaki. So now I am called Anunnaki. And it is part of my mission to bring these Christos Founders Race teachings. This is actually what the Lemuria High Council is. It is the Anunnaki cat people. And so this is what the first race in the 12th dimension, that's what, on planet Armatena, this is the beings who exist there. Now, I wouldn't say they look exactly physical as these beings do, because the AI can only help me create so much, like I can only tell my story as best as I can with the tools that I have. So this is liquid light. They're supposed to be in liquid light. So it's very difficult to show you what liquid light beings look like. So the next blue flame race would be called the Anu. These are feline also, but they also are called apes. So they're going to have, and they're called aquatic. Feline aquatic apes. So they are going to look some feline features and some ape-looking features, and obviously they're in the water, so you're going to see that in their skin or in their ears, or some other feature. So they can be in the water, above the water, but definitely near the water. And this is one of the founder races. And I got to check in on chat 1 second here. Okay, just making sure. Okay. So these are feline aquatic apes. And they're in the 11th dimension on planet Avion with the other violet flame races, but this is a blue flame race. But they were hybridized with aquatic apes. They're called Yoni aquatic apes. Well, they were mixed with the Anunnaki DNA. Now you got the Anu, which is feline aquatic apes. So the Anunnaki are felines. The Anu, this race, are feline aquatic apes. And actually, this is one of the first two races that fell. So where did fallen angels come from? Well, they came from different races, but one of the first races is this race, the Anu. This is the beautiful being, a beautiful race. They were getting along with everybody for 700 billion years. Okay? Until they started doing something called DNA code convolution. DNA code convolution is where you just mix, you create other life forms with the same DNA template over and over and over again. It's going to create some problems in your DNA template. That's kind of like incest. You're going to have people know that if you have babies with your brother or sister or cousin or mom or dad, you're going to have some distortions in that baby's DNA. Well, that happened to this race. They were mixing with the same DNA template. They got distortions in their DNA template, and that creates distortions in your appearance, in your biology, but also it starts to affect your consciousness. So people may think, how can a divine race fall? Right? They're good. They love God. They love all life. How could they fall? First of all, they're all given, all life is given the divine gift of free will. So they could use that free will to make bad decisions, to make bad choices. God allows it. Source. We're not talking about Father God or some religious God or some whatever God. We're talking about Source God, the God of everything. Doesn't have a gender, doesn't have a body, is beyond the time matrix, is beyond everything. It is the unified field. It is everything combined. That is what is God. Omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. God is everywhere. God is everything. And so, as soon as you put a name on God, that's not God. That's a fragment, a small piece of God. There's plenty of those type of beings saying, I'm God. Worship me. Worship us. We're God. Okay, that's not Source. That's not the Creator. Those are little baby beings who are trying to trick other baby beings for you to feed them Kundalini energy, because those beings in the phantom matrix are finite. They no longer have access to their light body. They're disconnected from their light body. They're not disconnected from God. It's impossible. They're still within the unified field. But they're disconnected from Kundalini energy. So they're finite. They too can return to Source God, but through the path of chaos. Through falling and fragmenting. And then eventually, you're just a small, tiny quantum, and Source recycles you into new life, into new potential. So the fallen beings return to God, but through a death process, through a fragmentation, breaking, forgetting process. They call that unconscious oblivion. That's self-annihilation. That's what these beings. This is why these beings must feed off of life. This is why they must feed off of your Kundalini. This is why they must paralyze you in your sleep and feed off of your light body. They're sucking you. They're drinking you. They're eating you. This is all frequency. They need your frequency because they're finite. They feed off of beings. They feed off of planets. They feed off of races of beings. They learn how to do this through technology, through technique, through psychic abilities, they're able to do these practices, unless you know how to protect yourself. And so these beings, according to Ashiana, Speaker 1, these beings, the phantom matrix is almost as big as the particle matrix now. That means they've been over billions and billions of years, specifically 250 billion years, they've been feeding off of the living matrix. And that includes the particle matrix and the parallel matrix. All the life in that, all the extraterrestrials and all the planets in the particle, and all the extraterrestrials and the planets in the antiparticle parallel. They do everything they can to get you into religions, because it is religions where they get you to feed them energy. You're feeding them prayers, you're feeding them love, you're feeding them loose energy, any type of energy. That's what religions are designed for. Those are all false gods in religions. Those are extraterrestrial gods in religions. And we're just getting started, baby. I'm going to show you those beings. So that Anu being, we all started blessed. We all we all have our own planets, our own DNA templates, our own agendas, our own bloodlines. But this bloodline, when you fall into phantom and you're now disconnected from your divine blueprint, that affects your biology and your consciousness. So let me show you what happened to these beings, what they look like after they fall. After they're now no longer receiving Kundalini energy. And so, let me keep myself hydrated here. So this race, this beautiful race, fell into this being. Anu became Anu Elohim. One of two first fallen races. I say one of two because there's also the Omicron who fell at the same time. They became what you call competing gangsters for, they want to increase their territory. So this being fell and became distorted, became grotesque, became wicked and dark. Now, there's something I need to show you, which is a big deal for a lot of New Agers. So, wait, what the hell? I thought I was showing you the PowerPoint. I'm sorry, guys. I went to the PowerPoint but didn't switch it over. Now I got to explain myself real quick in 30 seconds. So, sorry, that made me look kind of dumb on the camera there. This being became this being after they fell. That's what I was explaining. Their DNA template gets distorted. Their appearance and their thinking becomes distorted. Because you're streaming from your crystal body, your morphogenetic field. And when the DNA there is effed up, your consciousness is effed up. Your body is effed up. Okay? So that's what these beings, these beautiful beings, fell and became these beings, these creatures, these monstrosities, these distortions. Not to mention their minds are effed up. Now they're about hurting people, using people, feeding off of people, torturing people, sacrificing people, killing people. Okay? They feed off of us. Now they need to feed off of us. So, let me show you on the diagram. Wait, oh my gosh, don't tell me this is going to happen right now. It's not showing me the diagram when I click it. So let me put it in Photoshop. Maybe Photoshop will work. So give me a second to open that. Photoshop, time matrix diagram. open with Photoshop. So let me see. Still not showing? So it shows in Photoshop. Okay. At least I have a backup. There's something important about the Anu Elohim. Okay? Remember, you're always one level higher than where you're located in your body. So the Metatron is actually an ascended master group. So the time matrix is within these 15 dimensions. But beyond the time matrix is the higher God worlds, such as the ascended master collectives. One of the ascended master collectives is called Metatron. And it is a Metatron race that projected its consciousness into the Anu. So the Anu is actually Metatron, which is not a person. It's not a freaking archangel that sits by the throne, in the throne of God, which is not God. All that Kabbalah, mystic, what do you call, elite teachings, occult teachings is all twisted, distorted, dark stuff, man. This is a lie. It's a deception. And so this Anu Elohim is Metatron's consciousness, a family. That's a whole story. I would have to explain their whole drama that played out. But just for the sake of this video, they put their consciousness, they were trying to heal their fallen parts. They could see that some of their parts were fallen, so they brought in more of their consciousness, their collective consciousness, to try to help it. But what happened is it came into, most of it was falling, and then it pulled in the whole collective. This is according to the Emerald Order of Freedom teachings. They explain this in detail. They explain what happened in the Phantom Matrix, or how it was created, how the Anu Elohim was fighting with the Omicron dragon moths. And we're going to get to the dragon moths in a bit, but I'm explaining the Anu Elohim is Metatron's consciousness. That's why they're the first on the Anu side. On the Anu Elohim side, the first one is Metatron, fallen ascended master group who seeded the Anu Elohim in our time matrix. So now we're on the Anu Elohim, which is where you get Father God, Yahweh, Jehovah, Metatron. Notice they're not in Avion anymore. They're in Phantom Avion. So you will have an Avion here in the living matrix, and there's a fallen version of Avion in the Phantom Matrix. And notice it's the same with our planet. There is beings, this is the living matrix, but some of Earth and some of the humans and other life forms on Earth have fallen into the fallen version of Earth. So there is a Phantom Earth. And eventually, your planet can completely fall. And there is actually, one second here. Sometimes planets get destroyed. You've seen the movie Star Wars? That's soft disclosure of that. They have planet killers. They have weapons that can destroy planets. When you destroy a planet, that planet may be destroyed in this particle matrix, but it exists now. It falls into the Phantom Matrix. So Avion was destroyed and now exists or fell into the Phantom. Okay? According to the Guardians, there is originally 12 planets in our solar system. You notice there's an asteroid belt. That's those are pieces of one of the destroyed planets. That asteroid belt, the planet was called Tiamat or Maldak. I mean, it's called different things by different cultures. Tiamat. But there was also another planet that was destroyed called Chiron. And then there's another planet that's hidden. You can't see it. Those are the other 3 planets. You got our 9 planets, plus Nibiru, that's the Anunnaki's planet in our solar system, plus Chiron, and plus Tiamat. That's 12 planets. And you better believe some of the life forms that lived on Tiamat moved to a different planet temporarily, so those beings still exist. Some of them survived. So, you get movies like Superman, and he's escaping from his destroyed planet that's becoming destroyed, and he got out and came to Earth. I'm not saying there's a real Superman. I'm saying some of those beings came to our planet. So, let me go back to that, you guys. Oh, actually, let me just double check. We have Charlene. It says, right? Charlene. I'm confused. It says Charlene was a new donation. Thank you so much. I thought I said thank you already to Charlene, though. And Tamora. Thanks for the teachings. Can I get a birthday shout out? Happy birthday, Tamora! Woohoo! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I'm not some Marilyn Monroe, but hey. Blessings to you, Tamara. Happy birthday. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. I hope you're going to have a great time this weekend. Do something for yourself. Eat a piece of chocolate. Kiss somebody you love. I hope you have a beautiful personal holiday. Bless you and happy birthday. Thank you for your donation. Thank you for that exchange of energy. Bless you, sister. And I'll also check for questions. If anyone has any questions, one of my moderators, I don't know, Giannis can't always stay all the time during the live, but let me check. Giannis? Oh, your phone died. Oh, she's back. She's back, though. Oh, yeah, I figured out my problem about my phone dying. It was the block that was giving me issues, not the actual cable. So I got rid of the block and plugged the cable into a regular USB port, and now it charges like normal. Maybe that could be part of your problem, baby, Giannis. I don't know, but anyways. Oh, it's Syrian Star Princess is Tamara. Okay. Yeah, Syrian Star Princess, happy birthday! Woohoo! Okay, you guys, let me get back on this. So we starting from the top and we're going down, baby. So this Metatron Anu Elohim collective fell. This is where we get Father God, Yahweh, Jehovah. This is where we get these ET, extraterrestrial gods. This is where we get the twisted, distorted, sexist patriarchy religions that put down the divine feminine, for one, that have a judgmental gods. They're not God, they're not creator, but notice that they're judgmental. They can hate, they can be jealous, they cause destruction. God, source, does not do these things. It is fallen beings like the Metatronic Anu Elohim and the Omicron Dragamos and all those other demonic, fallen, angelic, conscious beings. They're the ones who are judgmental, and they're the ones who kill and cause destruction and all that. and put down the divine feminine. It's not source God, baby. So this is one of the first fallen angelic races we're talking about. And 1 second here. Let me show you. That's right, it's not working on my PDF. I have to show you on Photoshop. Okay, I just gotta find Photoshop. Okay. And so we have this lineage coming out of Metatron, which goes into Anu Elohim, which goes into, that's where we're at. We're at Anu Elohim. But Anu Elohim itself, they made a race called the Jehovah Anunnaki. And that's who we're going to go cover next. So this race created the, I guess we're not there yet. We're still doing the founder races. So we'll get to the Jehovah Anunnaki, but now we're at the gold flame. Okay, the gold flame races. The Seraphi gold flame races. I told you there's four founder races. The Ceres, the Athean, the Omicron, and the Dodecron. So this race, the Ceres, did not fall. They're guardians. And so these are blessed, beautiful beings. Just like the Anuhazi feline beings who represent all feline templates. Well, this is the Ceres bird people are the ones who represent all of the avian bird templates, whether they have some of the avian DNA or they're coming from a direct lineage of this race in the lower dimensions. But this is a guardian race in the 10th dimension on planet Vega. Okay? Their race did not fall, so they're blessed beings who are part of this, the Guardian Alliance. And so I've made videos about them. This is one of my latest videos I've made on this series. But the next race we're going to talk about is the Athean Mantis. I just want to let this play out. Did it already play out? Once? And yeah, this is all my artwork, just so you know. All right, so we got the Athean. Remember, I went through the trouble of telling you guys that there are billions or trillions of stars in our galaxy. There are trillions of different galaxies with all those trillions and billions of stars. There are more. That's just one universe. There's 5 universes and 15 dimensions. Which mantis are you talking about? We're not talking about the same mantis, homie. All of you low vibe people saying, "Oh, they don't look like that. Oh, they're dark beings who work with the great aliens." This race is not the same race that you're talking about. This is a 10th dimensional being. They're a guardian race who did not fall. They're not the ones who you're going to see doing experiments on humans without their permission. Okay? So this is one of the beings talked about in the Voyager's books and the Emerald Order teachings. A benevolent race. Even if you can't handle beings that look like insects, you think they're scary, well, that's on you. That's your own understanding or connection. They're not scary. They're bringing healing to the lower races. They're helping, anyone who asks for their help in their family. They're trying to help heal the Zetas. If you read in Voyager's 1 book, the Voyager's book talks about the Athean trying to help the Zeta Greys because the Zeta Greys need help. They have some problems. And so they're there to offer their assistance in healing or as teachers but just understand they represent the sacred universal law of one. This is one of the guardian groups. So this is the 2 groups that I mentioned, what we call founder races. Remember, there's 10 of them. I already covered the 2 blue flame and 1 of the gold flame, and this is the second gold flame. Now let's go to the next gold flame race, which is the Omicron. Okay, now this is the fallen version. I don't know what they may look like before they're fallen, but this is a grotesque, scary looking being because they are fallen, they are scary, they are wicked. And this is the one that actually fought with the Anu Elohim, aquatic apes. Okay, these are competing dark avatars. Literally, remember, avatar is a level of biology and consciousness and density universe 4. Those are avatars. Those are what are avatars. I had someone try to correct me. This is what the Guardians call an avatar. Anything in the 10th, 11th, or 12th dimension. These beings are in the 10th dimension. And so they're called Omicron, nicknamed dragon moths. Because look, they look like they have insect wings, insect futures, moth futures. This is where you get the concept of Mothman. You will see these people at New Age conferences inside people's fields. You will see reptilians in people's fields. You can see we haven't gotten to them yet, but the Necromaton beetle people in people's fields. Or you can see something like this in people's fields. Okay? They feed off of people and their fields. They're Kundalini. This is not the Dracon, you guys. This is the race who created the Dracon. This mighty, powerful race called the Dracon, also talked about in the secret space programs. Well, they have a creator, and this is their creator. This is the one who created the dragons. This isn't a dragon. These are dragon moths. Specifically, they're called insectoid dino reptiles. Insectoid dino reptiles, not dragons. These are insectoid dino reptiles. And they're coming out of Orion, specifically Onatak and Onalam. There are fallen angelics. One of the most feared, most powerful fallen angelics. And so this is mentioned many times in the Voyager's books. The Omicron, this is where, the ones who create the dragons, the Draconians. So a lot of times the Omicron are just called Draconians, but I think that's irresponsible. I think we need to know which one, not use a blanket term. Don't use blanket terms for a whole race, okay? This is called Omicron. And so, but this is one of the gold flame races founder races that fell. Okay, there's 4 founder races. The Ceres bird people did not fall. The Athean mantis did not fall. But yes, the Omicron dragon moths fell. And this is one of the beings that would be in the actual phantom matrix. Now you can look at this being and see where some uniqueness to the dragons, but they're not dragons yet. Look, they're insectoid too. Insectoid dino reptiles. So they're a unique sort, right? And if you guys are interested, I made these videos on my YouTube channel. Take a look, binge my Alien Life series or my Anunnaki series because I go through in detail. The next race, that is the last gold flame founder race, is called the Odedicron. Now these reptilians are part avian. Notice they're called winged reptile avian hominids by the Guardians. This is where you get the concept of gargoyle. Okay? These beings are also in the Phantom Matrix. This is where we get a lot of our myths, a lot of our stories. But they're not myths. They're real physical beings. They're real beings that are affecting our Earth drama. One of the things I don't see is my notes, but I forgot to say the notes. Let me get to that real quick. It's on, let me open Voyagers 2. One second here, guys. Menu, open Voyagers 2. And I'll go to where the Odedicron are. these beings are associated with, throughout history, they have done atrocities. Some of the things that the Guardians say they did or are associated with, they're associated with Egyptian, pagan, shamanic, and kahuna, that's Hawaii, kahuna, mystical teaching distortions. That means they took those spiritual teachings and edited, changed, distorted them. And so there's now distortions in the Egyptian, pagan, shamanic, kahuna teachings. This is the race where you get crocodile cults, falcon cults, Malaysian voodoo, Lord Maitreya. They're the ones that brought some of the Christian text distortions. And so just realize that the Omicron, let me go back to the Omicron, because I didn't tell you some of their associations. According to the Guardians, they're associated with the Knights Templar, okay? The Roman Mafia. They're associated with this, one of the Scottish family lines called MacDonald. They're a raider line. The Omicron are associated with Nazi creeds, Black Sun mystical skulls, Karandara, Dramin, something called Dramin Dragon Queen. They're also influenced. The Omicron influenced the shamanism of Native Americans and Peruvians and Africans. They also associated with Haitian African voodoo. The Omicrons are associated with Roman Catholic control creeds. They're associated with Toltec, Aztec, Inca, Islamic, Wiccan, pagan systems. They're associated with the Reiki system. They're associated with some of the false Guardian Alliance claims. Okay, so we have the Dragon Moths and Odedicrons associations. Now let's go to the Necromaton, another gold flame race. These are beetle reptilian insectoids. And according to the Guardians, all those people out there in the New Age claiming to be channelers of Andromeda, they're not. They're channeling these freaking creatures. These disgusting, despicable beings. And Oceana even described them herself as looking like gold beetle-like creatures. Just freaking ugly, she called them. Fat, she called them fat. And this is my depiction of them. So these beings are coming out of phantom Andromeda planets in the 10th dimension. They're actually feared by some of the Anunnaki and reptilians. So these beings have made a name for themselves. So they're called the beetle people. And a lot of people in New Age are channeling these creatures. Okay? And I'll tell you some of their associations. One second here. Necromaton. The Necromaton are associated with Buddhic, Tibetan, and Eastern, and also Christian spiritual text distortions. They're also where we get necromancy from, the Luciferian satanic Bible. This Necromaton race is also where we get some of the Luciferian, Egyptian, Tibetan, Mayan mystical teachings. They're also associated with what's called Alpha Omega Templar Melchizedeks, and of course Lord Melchizedek. They're also associated with Archangel Michael, and just basically angelic hierarchy in general. They're also associated with something called Cryon, Kryon, Cryon, and Cortium, and also, which is a Nephilim, Anunnaki, Andromi hybrid. They're also associated with some of the false Sananda Jesus contacts, and some of the fallen Vairagi, or I think you might pronounce it Vairagi, false ascended masters. These creatures, these freaking beetle people from Andromeda, are also associated with the Thule Society, Andromy, ET contact and channeling. I already mentioned that. And so these are not your friends, Andromedan friends, homie. So this is actually one of the big factions that are affecting the human race. Besides the reptilians and the Anunnaki, well, there's also these Necromaton, and they're associated with. Well, one second here. Let me show you on the diagram. Let me show you. I'll switch to the diagram. Is it going to show me? I guess Photoshop, right? So some of the races that come out of those beetle people, creatures, where is it? Is the Men in Black. So some of the races they made are something called the Men in Black, which is this insectoid plus human. So they added human DNA to create the Men in Black. And also vampires are real beings. They're serpent, dino, humanoid hybrids coming out of the Necromaton matrix. Also Newers, something called Newers, which is red-haired humans from the Phantom, Vega, Pleiades, Onatok. It tells you what they're mixed with. Omicron, Necromaton, Pleiadian, and humans. Man, all these races are creating hybrids with other races to create new races. This is what a lot of these beings are. But understand, you guys, one of the races were used to create this Archangel Michael matrix. Necromaton Nephilim. I haven't gotten to the Necromaton Nephilim, but we'll get there. I was just showing you also some of the races that come out of the Omicron. And we're going to get through them. Dracon, the dragons. The Dracos, which was a mixture of Dracon with humans. And then the False Ants, which is a chupacabra. A lot of people in Mexico claim they've seen chupacabras. It's in a lot of tabloid stories. These beings are actually real. They're just extraterrestrial mammals, animals. Also, this being called Azazel is not some demon, but it's an actual race of beings that it's mixed between the Zephyrim blue Zetas with the Omicron reptilians, and they exist in the Bellatrix system. The Adedicrons made Enlil, but we will get to the Enlil, Enki, Marduk soon. So let me go back out of this. Let me just check real quick. I'm sorry, I'll get that back on. But let me take both those off for a second. My Chihuahua fam, what's up, homies? Okay. So I'm just checking for any questions. Yes, there's questions. My darling, beautiful Julia. I love you, baby. She's helping me get your questions, you guys. And so you until the sun dies made a question. So when we hybridized and stole the DNA template of the Azarites, we affected the Ceres DNA and they became more like Omicron. When you say we, you're talking about the humans. We did not steal DNA, brother. I don't know what you're saying. The Guardians did not steal DNA. Human beings are part of the Guardian groups. We're not associated with reptilian groups who claim they made us. We're not associated with the Anunnaki groups who claim they made us. They did not make us. We were created by the 7 Earthseed races and the 5 Starseed races. There is no Azarites. Azarites? We didn't steal no Azarite DNA. I don't know why you're saying that. Okay? The the Lyran Syrian Anuhazi created the Oraphim, in which we're going to show those beings soon. And then the Oraphim created the Turanesium angelic humans with 7. Well, actually, we're talking about Tara. So they still created with 7 different races. Now, some of the humans fell to Earth, and then they're being hybridized. But we did not get DNA from somewhere else. That is against the Christic teachings. I have no idea what you're trying to say, but it is a distortion, homie. We were created by Polarians. That's our DNA. This is our DNA. No Azarites. Azarites or whatever you're trying to say. The Polarians, Hyperboreans, Lemurians, Atlanteans, Aryans, Unchechi, Muvarians. That's Mavarians first, and then Unchechi. And then the 5 starseed races. Uantrians, Brenoa, Hibaru, Melchizedek, and Uniseti. We ain't going outside anyone else's DNA template. Don't bring that distortion into this conversation. Thank you very much. Machiwa. So I have 50. This same person says I have 15 chakras, but I only know of being in 6 dimensions. Though I still have 1,728 lives, but they are all in the 6D and lower. I am twice as distorted as a normie. You would have if you're human. You're saying you're human or you're not human. A human being does not have 15 chakras, homie. If you study the teachings, you would understand and realize that it's called the Diamond Sun 12-strand DNA template. 12. Not 15. 12. Human beings have a Diamond Sun 12-strand DNA template with the 7 earth seeds and the 5 star seeds. You don't have 15 chakras. And it is the races of beings who have more strands of DNA, like the Ceres, like the Azarites, like the Oraphine, like the Indigo Children, like the Maharaji Blue Humans. Okay, these are some of the races that can have more than 12 chakras. Most races do not have 12 chakras. Most races have, like these dark avatars, only have 11 or 10 or, Let me show you something. What the Guardians show us. Let me show you what the Guardians show us. There is no 15 chakra template. It doesn't exist. You can have more, but there is nothing that starts with only 15. Okay? There's certainly, the Guardians don't share any of those, but let me open. This is coming from Architects of Light PDF. And let me switch to that real quick. And let's see here. Here's the one DNA template. This is the Diamond Sun 12-strand DNA template. This is what a human being is. Original human being. And you're not special because all human beings have 12 chakras, 12 templates. I mean, not templates, 12 strands of DNA. It's not special. It's normal. This is normal for all humans, not just special. There is no chosen or special people. That's a big, huge, new age lie, distortion. So yeah, they talk about some DNA templates like the Emerald Sun. Emerald Sun has 48 strands. A double Diamond Sun, 24 to 30 strands. Diamond Sun, that's us, 12 strands. Golden Sun, 24 to 30 strands. It tells you the avians, the insectoids, reptilians, Ceres, cloister humans have this. Notice there's no 15-strand DNA templates. Did you notice? There is a ruby sun. There is a black sun. But no, there is no mentioned 15-strand sun or any sun that has 15 chakras. I'm just sticking to the teachings, brother. I don't know where you're getting your data. So that's what my channel's about. So let me go back. To your question. I have so many windows open. I will get it. So That was in Discord. All beings have 1,728 lives. Okay? And when you say I know of being in 6 dimensions, it just means you don't remember the higher dimensions. It doesn't mean you don't exist in the higher dimensions. And if you realize that I started this live and said all beings start as avatars. All avatars have 1,728 selves. But if you're it is the indigo children who have more than 1,728 lifetimes. They have up to 5,000, 6,000 plus, because they're actually literally incarnating more than other beings because of their missions that we're doing and the different timelines. It just means you don't remember. And if you only remember up to your 6th chakra, because that's what you mentioned, 6, that's only up to here, 6 dimensions. You have to work on your crown, which is violet, the thymus, which is gold chakra. Remember, the New Age only goes up to 7. Punk asses, right? That's a punk ass DNA template. That's not the truth. That is punk ass information coming from punk ass fallen angelic malevolent extraterrestrials. We have more than 7 vatos. Okay? Thymus is gold. Thalamus, it's a diagonal chakra like a unicorn horn. It's going that way, and it crosses the third eye. Third eye, your forehead, straight ahead. But this one goes diagonal. There's one that goes this. There's another one that. Wait, this one goes this way. This one goes that way. There's 2 diagonal chakra. And we have if one of you moderators can please share the chakra diagram. I did share it with you guys. Anyone? So we have that. 9 is silver, gold, silver, dark blue, dark silver, or dark gray, you can say. The one 6 inches below your feet is your 12th chakra. It's pure white. So I was on one of those diagrams. If you work on, and in Cathara, please someone share the Cathara workshop for Until the Sun Dies. They will teach you triadic phase currents, and you use triadic phase currents to work on the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th chakra, and you will remember your other lifetimes. I can't help you with your other 15 chakras, brother. You're going to have to figure that one on your own. Bless you in your journey. Because you're going to get all kinds of people, at least I get all kinds of people writing me, texting me, sending me messages or direct messages. I am this, I am that, I am the queen, I'm the king, I am the, someone just recently said, I am the daughter of God, I am the Metatron, I am Archangel Michael, I am some self-proclaimed something. Everybody's claiming to be something. So it's a little bit hitting that this is probably where a lot of people are coming from. The ego, the 3rd chakra. So we also have Kirsten Love. Such beautiful talent with your AI artwork, Anahazi. Truly outstanding and stunning. Thank you, Kirsten. Thank you, sister. And I spend a lot of time. I usually spend all day long making 2 videos a day. Even on my Saturdays and my Sundays, I work 100 plus hours a week. No joke, no BS. And so, thank you for that, because some people write me messages even recently demonizing AI art. and I have to explain to this person what is AI art. It's not, what's that called? Skynet trying to kill you or take your soul. It's an app that helps you create art. So people can hate on me if they want, or think I'm lost in the Christic teaching because I'm using AI art. That's what I got accused of. That's what people are saying. Some people. Thank you, Kirsten. The AI art is a benign AI app. You know, benign, there's some things in AI that are harmless, and there's some things in AI that are dangerous. AI art is not dangerous, homie. But you know, people will say their low vibe comments, and those are the people that I block and no longer have any conversations with them anymore. Throughout the past couple of years, yeah. 1 second here. Yeah, because AIR is not some form of autonomous military superintelligence plotting against humanity. So anyways, let me continue on with this. Beetle people, creatures. And I got to speed it up because we're getting close to late. So let me run through this a little bit faster. So the Jehovah Anunnaki is where I was getting to. This is where you get Father God. Oh, wait a second. I don't know if you can see this. So let me... Yeah, I realized I have two windows I got to use for this. There we go. Jehovah Anunnaki. The Guardians call them cetacean hominids. Okay? These beings are upright, bipedal dolphin people. And of course, you're going to get all kinds of freaking immature comments about this. All you guys got to do is check some of those videos on my Facebook or Instagram. You'll see them making their bullshit comments. Excuse my language. But that's where they're at in their level of awakening. There is dolphin people. The Anu Elohim created this race. They literally call them the Avengers of Anu. This is the original Anunnaki race. All other Anunnaki hybrids are coming from out of this original race. Okay? And people can laugh and make their jokes about dolphin people, cat people, turtle people, beetle people, but I try to explain that all the animal forms are coming from extraterrestrial forms. The animals are 2-strand DNA beings, while the ETs are, like, we showed, are up to 7-strand, 8-strand, 9, 10, 11-strand DNA templates. But the Jehovah Anunnaki are the highest level Anunnaki. You're not going to get anything close to this Anunnaki, even though if you think it's ridiculous, these beings are actually the most powerful Anunnaki in the 11th dimension. All those other punk-ass Anunnaki are in the second universe. They're coming from dimensions 4, 5, and 6. This race is coming from dimension 11. So I even give you the page numbers of where you get this, where I'm getting these information stories from. So now we got through those races. Now this is the Lyran. This is now in dimension 9, which is the third universe. So this is what the Anunnaki downstepped into. The Anunnaki downstepped into the Lyran Anunnaki. So they went from Armatena to Gaia. And these guys got a nickname called the Syrian Whites. So they're very graceful, they're very tall, and this is the one who created the angelic human project. But before they could create the humans, they had to create other races that were part of the project. And so you can say these are the seed race that created other races to help with the guardian angelic human race. So this race would help along with other races, because it's a huge project, you guys. The angelic humans are meant to be the security of the time matrix, along with the Azarites. The Azarites are the main security, but the humans are being trained as a young guardian race to be, the next security in the time matrix. Plus, the humans have in their DNA all the possible potential of the blue flame, gold flame, and violet flame bloodlines inside our DNA. This is why our human DNA is prized, because of what is inside us. So they created the Elohim race to help them, the overseers of the Syrian races. So this isn't the Anu Elohim, okay? This is they simply call them the Elohim. So there's a connection in those higher dimensions, but this is a positive race at the start. They were a positive race, and they were helping to oversee the Syrian Council, which is, when we talk about Syrians, we're talking about Sirius A and Sirius B. Oh, I guess I don't have the video. I did have a video before. Now I don't. I guess I don't have a video for this one. But anyways, this is one of the races that the Lyran Syrian Anunnaki created. These are the beings that help. And so this is also another being that the Lyran Syrian Anunnaki created. Now this being is part feline and part avian. They're called the Oraphim. This is the ones that directly created us. And the Guardians, man, actually in the Voyager's books, they describe these guys to the T. They describe the white slit eyes, pupils. They describe their white eyelashes. They describe their mouths, their noses, their ears, their hair, their feathers. So it wasn't too difficult for me to create these guys. And yeah, these guys are up to 20 feet tall. So and the angelic humans are like up to 14 feet tall. So they're even taller than us. So they would be giants to the giant angelic humans. So we weren't created by the freaking reptilians. We weren't created, which is the gold flame race, and we weren't created by the fallen Anunnaki race. We were created by these feline avian Oraphim race, a guardian angelic race who created another guardian angelic race. So blessings to this race who created us. Machiwa. So here's the Syrian Council, directors of the angelic human on Sirius B, D6. A lot of the races actually from planet or the star system Sirius are blue skin. This is where the Azarites are. They have blue skin. This is where the blue humans are, Maharaji. But also there's the Pleiadian groups who are helping with the humans. There's some of our friends, along with the Arcturian groups, are from some of our positive, friendly friends that have helped us. They're mentioned in Voyager's books as being our friends. There's another race created by the Lyran Syrian Anunnaki called the Azarites. These are actually one of the most powerful races in the time matrix. They have up to 48 strands. One of the few races that literally have 48 strands of DNA. They're winged beings. And so, man, they're so freaking amazing and beautiful and fantastic looking to me. And I've shared my experience. I've showed some of my, this could be considered future life memory. And I saw myself very clearly as one of these Azarites. It is a freaking huge honor, because I also saw Jeshua up there. I saw Ashiana Dean up there. I saw many of these Azarite beings. Their consciousness is freaking unbelievable. And their body forms are unbelievable. And I couldn't even describe exactly what I witnessed and experienced. But so this is the other extraterrestrial race called the angelic humans. Now I have to kind of storm through this, you guys. They're ideal versions of us. They're giant versions of us. These beings live in within the sacred and universal law of one. We get our skin tones and our different races from these beings. There are white angelic humans, black angelic humans, yellow, red, brown angelic humans. There are Native American angelic humans, just like we have natives. And the native, they came from somewhere. They came from these, and we got Asian angelic humans. This is the angelic human race. These are, just imagine that they're a lot taller than we are. And so this is where we come from. This is 5D. This is the fifth dimension. This is planet Tara. This is our true heritage, not Anunnaki, not reptilians. Okay? The reptilians and Anunnaki are going to tell you they created us. They're going to create these creation stories for us. They're going to tell the Sumerians how they created us. They're going to tell the Babylonians how they created us, or the Akkadians, Assyrians, Egyptians. They're going to tell the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Incans. They're going to tell all these different cultures on race that they created us. They did not create us. We are the angelic human race, Vato Locos. We always have been. But you got these freaking monsters, these creatures, these Syrian Anunnaki, who come back even into Atlantis to mess with us, to mess with our culture, to mess with our indigos, and take over the indigos, and now they rule us. Now you got rulers. You get your queens and your kings and your emperors from these freaking a-holes. They brought us the sexist patriarchy. They put down the divine feminine. They changed our beliefs and our spiritual practices into worshiping, into subservience, into blind. Now we're aligning ourselves with their teachings that they brought us in Atlantis. They brought us in Sumer. They brought us in the Maya. They brought us in the Aztecs. They twisted all of the Native Americans and the Tibetans, the Hindus. They twisted all of our teachings, you guys. The same with the Nephilim. The Nephilim are giants. They're bigger than their fathers. These beings are up to 20, 30 feet tall because they created them to be that tall. These beings actually destroyed us. Notice the Nephilim are mentioned in the Bible, so are the Seraphim and the Elohim. All fallen angelics. That tells you what that source is. These beings ate us. They murdered us. They slaughtered us. And human seeding 2. No, human seeding 1, I believe. And so, but you got people worshiping these beings, all these different Anunnaki races. Remember, these are all hybrid Anunnaki, not the original Anunnaki. You got Zechariah Ascension telling you lies. You got the cuneiform tablets telling you lies. You got people like Billy Carson praising these tablets. Just because it's an ancient tablet doesn't make it true, homie. You got Illuminati nowadays. You got Illuminati in these days. You got people making crap up in religion just like you have it in nowadays, man. You don't automatically assume it's right or correct because it's ancient or because it was buried. Wake up, man. Wake up. This is probably, I don't know for sure, but this is probably where you get mermaids from. Or the myths. It's not myth. Folklore. It's not folklore. Well, it's somebody's folklore, but it's not a story. These are real beings. This one specifically is an Anunnaki called the Emilian. And the Emilian Anunnaki are also in the DNA of other races and beings. And so, let me just check in chat that you guys can see and hear everything okay. I don't see anyone telling me that you can't see, or yeah, she hasn't written anything to me, so there you guys can apparently see this lecture. The Dracon, remember the Omicron Dragon Moss? Well, they're the ones that created this race, and it is this race that most people are familiar with. They're not familiar with any of the a lot of people probably have never heard of the Omicron. Okay, but this is this is actually a very militaristic. That these guys rely on brute strength, while the Anunnaki races are mostly about deception and tricking you and fooling you with different ways. Well, these people, the dragons don't care. They'll just come and just conquer you and beat you up. Okay, this is actually a very formidable opponent, according to the secret space programs. They talk about these beings being very powerful, but the secret space programs, the human secret space programs, have learned ways to defend themselves, but they are an ongoing enemy for sure. Zeta Reticuli are part of the Draconians group. They're not Draconians, obviously, but they work with them. They're also part of the Gold Flame Fallen Angelics. Now, there's all kinds of different Zeta Grays. And even though some people say they're fake beings, they're not fake beings originally. According to the Guardians, you'll read the whole story about the Zeta Reticuli, gray aliens, short aliens. These guys are only up to 3.5 feet tall. Very, very small beings. Small as our children. Remember Close Encounters? They showed all these little gray aliens, and they all the size of children. Well, because they are size of children. But this is just one of many types of Zeta gray aliens. Remember my analogy that there's billions and trillions of stars in our galaxy and billions and trillions of galaxies in the universe, and then there's 5 universes? Well, imagine how many billions of Zeta gray alien insectoids there is. So there is these beings are not all cybernetic, okay? So just realize that there's different kinds of grays. See how tall the tall grays are as tall as humans or taller. So you have had all kinds of what you call abductees, contactees, describing how they saw kind of like all these little grays, but then they saw kind of like someone who was in charge. Well, it's these ones, specifically called the Regalians, Regalians. These are all fallen angelic, you guys. They're part of the Draconian groups. The Omicrons, the Odedicrons, and the Zephlehim, and the Zeta Greys, and the Zeta Reticuli, Zeta Regalians are all part of the Draconians. And this is the Greys. So this is where all Zeta insectoids come from. Something called the Zephlehim. Okay, these are also very tall. So the ones I just showed you, the tall grays, the Zeta Regalians, and the short grays, the Zeta Reticuli, they all come from this original race, which happens to have blue skin. So these are beings, freaking diabolical dark beings. They have a background, just like all the grays are coming from somewhere. Well, they're coming from this race. But remember, the granddaddy of all insectoid races is the Athean mantis. All insectoids, including this insectoid, would come from the DNA of the Athean. So here's the Anunnaki that most people are familiar with. The Anki is not a brother, homie. You can argue blue in the face, but you're still going to have a distorted source if you're following the Zachariah Ascension or the Sumerian tablets. Okay? And I'm what do you call? I am making it very clear in my videos of what these beings are doing. They come to the different ages of humans. They come to ancient Atlantis, ancient Lemuria. They come to this Mesopotamian city-states such as Sumer, Akkad, Babylon. They come. They create, they mix with the humans, They create the religions. They create hybrid bloodlines. So now they're not humans that are part of these. And then they make these the kings and the queens. You see, they did this over and over and over again. They did it, and you realize that there is something called the Sumerian Kings List, or the Larsa Kings List, the Guardians call it. They show these beings ruling. They rule, like he's sitting in a throne. They rule for 10,000 years. How could they even live that long? Because they're not human. That was the Inky Anunnaki. Oh, by the way, they're called humanoid, insectoid, reptilian serpents. I got accused recently of making these species up. I am not making up species. This is verbatim. This is verbatim from what the Guardians call these beings. And the Enlils are scaled reptile hominids. Let me make sure in chat that you can still hear me and see me okay. It seems like everything's okay. So let me push F5. I'm going to check to see if any more donations. There's something here. Corey, 1212, huh? Thank you so much, Corey. You're a blessing. Thank you so much. And now you're left a wonderful message. Let me read this. Thank you for spreading the freedom teachings and educating us on the different alien races with your videos. Do you have a video short that explains the difference between the Guardian Melchizedek cloister, Lord Melchizedek, and Anu Melchizedek? Corey. Thank you, Corey. Thank you so much for supporting my work. Let me make sure you can see me. It's more there. Thank you so much, Corey. And I haven't made a video, but just understand there is only one Melchizedek, and it isn't a human or a person or an ET. The entire time matrix is created by Melchizedek family lines, ascended master groups. They're not extraterrestrials. They're not metaterrestrials. They're ultra-terrestrials. That means they're outside of the time matrices. Everything else, including Anu Melchizedek's, which is a Illuminati family line, including the Lord Melchizedek. You guys, anything calling itself Lord is meant to put you in slavery. Lord Jesus, Lord Maitreya, Lord Melchizedek, Lord anything. Legitimate guardians don't call themselves lords. Fallen angelics with a dark, twisted agenda call themselves lords. Machiwa. So, thank you so much, Corey. Blessings, Holy One. I haven't made a video, but I'll think about making one about that topic. So, we got Enlil. And this came in ancient Egypt. They came in also in Sumer. They came in different times and different cultures and did the same things. They make these hybrids. I'm showing you right here in this video. It's one of these freaking Enlil scaled reptiles. They mixed it with human, and now you get a hybrid Enlil human Anunnaki. And they take these kids and they train them to be kings and queens and the rulers. Now there's bloodline, there's family lines of these bloodlines. And so you have these little Babylonian elites, you know, and their Illuminati lines. That's what these are. They're Illuminati lines. Illuminati lines are extraterrestrial human bloodlines. That's what Illuminati are. This is just one of dozens of different Illuminati family lines, bloodlines. This is just one. There's Scarab bloodlines. There's Horus bloodlines. There's Isis bloodlines. I've made videos about them like this. Here's another Marduk. There is no brothers, you guys. New Agers, wake the F up. Zechariah Ascension is lying to you. The tablets are lying to you. These people were in power 8,000 plus years ago. They wrote the cuneiform tablets. They created the priesthood. They created the kings and queens. They lied to you. And you're still following their freaking lies. You got it backwards, telling me that I am making up stories. You're the one following the made up stories. These beings are creating hybrids, and they're creating the royalties. They're creating the doctrines. They create the dogma. They are your puppets. They're the ones manipulating society. It's part of the Atlantean conspiracy. And I'll move on. The Vikaritz Anunnaki. This is the Luciferian seed race. They create this seed, Luciferian. This is the word that Lucifer comes from. It comes from this freaking diabolical entity. It does look like a demon. It does look like a fallen angel, because it is. This race is what created the Samyasi Anunnaki. This is the race that created the Luciferian Marduk centaurs. It's a seed race for other seed races. And I didn't even have time to talk about all of these, associations. Necromaton Nephilim, this is the one that brings you the Archangel Michael group. And I showed it to you how they use technology. Here they are using technology to create contact with humans. And this is why the Guardians tell you it's dangerous and risky to do channeling. Because these guys are using the Niberian dyadic crystal grid and other nefarious technologies to literally channel to people in meditation and trying to connect. Trying to channel angels. You ain't channeling no angel, homie. Archangel Michael, I hate to, I'm sorry to tell you, no, not sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry to tell you, the Archangel Michael does not exist. It's a hologram projection to you, reaching out to channel by these sick, twisted looking creature beings. Centaur Luciferian. This is one of the races that was created by this race. This race was used to create this race. Notice their legs, they're half centaurs. Okay? Another diabolical race who has a bunch of association with it as well. The blue centaurs. Now this race is on Alpha Centauri, Phantom Alpha Centauri, but the blue ones are on Omega Centauri, also in the Phantom Matrix, also diabolical, sick beings. This is actually a race that influenced a lot of the Hinduism teachings. A lot of the Hindu distortions. And you do have distortions. It is these phantom beings in the Phantom Omega Centauri system who brought you beings like Kali, who decapitate humans and eat humans and wear their decapitated heads on as a necklace or as a belt. And I will get into the freaking Hindu gods eventually. This is the pretty perfect humans. This is not Pleiadians. This is something other than Pleiadians. They use, actually it tells you, well, it doesn't tell you here, but these beings are actually, there's a few different races used to create this. There's human DNA in this. But there's also Pleiadian DNA. There's also a bunch of other DNA in these creatures. They were purposely made to look like pretty perfect humans, so they can now mix with us. Now you can have rulers that look like this. You have supposed gods. According to the Guardians, these are the ones that are some of the Roman gods, some of the Greek gods, Greek Roman gods, are some of these pretty perfect humans playing these gods. Okay, there we go. I got to it. I got to the end of this. At least this is the end of my the PowerPoint that I used in Sedona. So, wow. And I didn't even get through all of them. Blessings to you, Indigo Rising. What's up? I've been contacted by False Michael, but I thought it was odd because there was an energetic fence between us. That's what raised flags between me. Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that, Holy One. Yeah, well, I don't know if they're called tall whites, but they're called Nordic aliens. The Semyasi Luciferians from planet Nibiru are the ones that New Agers are praising. Okay? Now remember, they are a type of Pleiadian that live on Nibiru. They don't represent all Pleiadians. But these are the Pleiadians, for example, that contacted Billy Myers, which is a famous abductee, contactee story. So, and these guys are from planet Nibiru, our backyard, one of the 12 planets of our solar system. And so, yeah, is this still playing out? No, it's not playing out, but. So, you guys, I have to finish up now, but I hope you guys learned something from this Emerald Order perspective. Now, maybe you disagree on some of it, or maybe you agree on some of it. You disagree on some, but agree on some others. So, I'm just letting you know these are not part of my own personal opinions. This is part of the Emerald Order Freedom Teachings. And they go into much more detail than I go into. But as your brother Enuhazi, I plan on illustrating these in living color. Making videos, making articles, making the information available to all of you trying to learn these Emerald Order Freedom Teachings. Now, because look, there's no pictures of these aliens in here. There's no pictures. Voyagers 1. Okay? But there's descriptions of these beings. Descriptions. And so I followed the descriptions as closely as possible. I do not want to have distortions in my portrayals. I will always strive to be accurate, you guys. I spend a lot of time bringing these to life. While people attack the AIR, let them. I could care less about your ideas about AIR because I am doing a blessed work with the AIR. Thank you very much. And so, let people say what they want to say. Anyways, there is actually more races, you guys, I haven't gotten to. Like, I haven't made pictures of the Dracos, which is a Dracon mixed with a human. And they did that 1,000,000 years ago in Human Seeding 2. They made the Dracos, and they made the Nephilim in Human Seeding 1. So those are Earthlings. The Dracos, which are shape-shifting reptilians that are in power, like presidents, like other people in power, maybe billionaires are Dracos. You see the slit in their eye for a split second, you know what the F that is. They're shapeshifters. And they're not the only shapeshifters. There's other races that can shapeshift, but this is one of them. And I haven't made pictures yet, but I will. There's a few other things I have to make pictures of. Let me see. Extraterrestrial races. It's an ongoing project. I still need to make the Maharaji and some other smaller races that aren't as important. Like the Men in Black. I want to make the Vampire. I want to make the Retulia, which is a type of Zeta. Azazel and the chupacabras. And then when I get those done, you guys, and there's a couple other like that are important, like the Nephite Anunnaki. They're a big deal. The Nephite Anunnaki. When I get those done, I will make a movie. I will start the Voyagers movie, or at least the Anunnaki documentary or Anunnaki movie. But I'm just telling you guys that AI art costs money. To do what I'm doing costs money. And I just learned that in September, they're no longer offering the platform that and app that I use, which is Runway. I use the Runway platform to make my videos. They're no longer going to offer unlimited package. They're going to a credit system. There's no way I can afford a credit system. I have no idea what I'm going to do. So I will have to make a lot less artwork, AI artwork, unless my financial system changes by then. But I'm just telling you guys, by September, things are going to have to change. I'm going to have to find a new way to make these artworks some way. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's lecture. Thank you to all you beautiful souls who supported my work, literally gave me donations tonight. Thank you so much. If any of you are watching this on the replay, after the live, you guys, you can still leave me a donation. My donation link, my PayPal donation link is below. And if you don't have or don't like to use PayPal, you can use Zelle. My Zelle account, Zelle, it's a banking thing. You can switch. All you need is my email address to send me a Zelle donation. So you don't have to, you can bypass PayPal if you want. It's based on my email address, you guys, which is also below. innerchristos@gmail.com. Inner, I-N-N-E-R, Christos, C-H-R-I-S-T-O-S, @gmail.com. Thank you guys. I'm thanking you ahead of time for any other donations because remember, I just lost my truck. It's very difficult. Life is difficult now. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, all of you regulars. Thank you to my moderators. You guys kick ass. Much respect to all of my moderators. Thank you, Kirsten and your twins. Oh, really? SB Scribes. You'll have to share us with your resource. Maybe you have links for that. Brandon Smith, good to see you again, Holy One. Much love to all you guys. Thank you so much, you guys. I'm going to go eat dinner. Much love, much respect. And you guys, I'll be here on Tuesday. I'm here on Sundays or Saturdays and Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm planning on having some interviews lined up. Give me a little bit, a week or so. I should have some interviews lined up soon. So I hope to see you guys on Tuesday. I'll be making more interesting videos, and I'm coming out with videos all the time, every single day, even weekends, Sundays, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. The only time I slow down is when my beautiful girlfriend, we're separated by, she's in California, so we has to, plan visit time together. So when she's here, of course, I'm not going to be working 2 videos a day. But thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you learned something. This is my source. This isn't based on my opinion. So if you disagree with this information, you disagree with these teachings, because it's coming directly out of these teachings. So Machiwa. Shaddai Ure Akuntan. Shaddai Ure Akuntan. Shaddai Ure Akuntan. Much respect to all of your journey. Blessings to you. Machiwa. Aho. Namaste. See you soon. Omni Christos love, holy ones.